Woo! This bitch is shaking the table.
What's up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of Shaking the Table. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode so far. This week is very special to me because I have my friend Chelsea. First of all, Chelsea is a prominent journalist. Chelsea Jones. Hey, Chelsea.
Oh my God.
So the topic I wanted to get into today, because I feel like it's something that we both really can relate to. Getting your heart broken. And we're going to touch on closure too. And I guess we can talk about like falling in love, being in love, and all those emotions, because I feel like love for us, for both of us. Yes, I'm dragging you too, bitch. Love for both of us has been like a roller coaster in a way. And we felt so many emotions, and when we both were in it, like we kind of relied on each other for like, oh, how are you dealing with this? Or like, this happened to me today. How are you dealing with it? And so I just want to get right into this tea, girl.
Wait a minute. Question, ground rules. You know that nickname I have? I guess I can't use that one, right, for this? It's two. I don't.
So I'm going to vote no. I'm just going to vote no, because the point of this episode is for us to talk about our feelings in a way that's like really healthy. So no petty hats. Take off your petty hat today. Chelsea, let me tell you something. Chelsea's such a Sagittarius right now because she's trying to drag it. I'm like, no, sis, let's work through your feelings.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm not trying to be on nobody's therapist couch tonight. Okay.
Well, Chelsea, let me tell you something.
Switching gears.
I am what Iyanla thinks she is, okay? I'm fixing lives. Life with love. So if you want to get on this couch, sis, you got to be vulnerable, because I'm literally like freaking out now knowing that I have to be vulnerable right now. So this is a lot.
We finna hold you accountable because that's what you said, all right? So
okay, I love a queen that listens. I love a queen that tunes in and know what the hell she's talking about.
Tunes in.
Okay. So I guess first we could, because you're being a clown, I guess first we could talk about like the beauty of falling in love. And these are in your words, the beauty of falling in love and being in love. Tell me a little bit about that, Chelsea. What is Chelsea like in love?
Okay, well, this bitch love a chase, okay? Falling in love is the best part. It's the purest part, you know, before all the hell comes, you know, the problems, the getting to know someone and understand what triggers them, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. Mm-hmm. So, you know, falling in love, I don't even know. What could I compare that to?
For me, it's like that first sip of water when you've been drunk as hell all night and you throwing up in the bathroom, and like you take that first sip of water.
Crisp.
It's crisp.
Yes. I like that.
It is. It's like exhilarating. I learned this from my birth chart. I actually got a birth chart reading, and the woman was telling me that I have a tendency to get lost in other people. Mm-hmm. And she said, especially in my relationships, like especially in my last relationship, she was saying like she felt like I got lost in him, and like I kind of lost like who I was, and that's why like now it seems like I'm being a completely different person. I guess to the world, she was saying like to my friends or to like people that may see me on social media, I seem like a completely different woman, but she's like, you're not a completely different person. This is like who you really were, and you were suppressing that. Or not suppressing it, but like you weren't realizing that because you were so hung up on this other person. And I was like, girl.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Because even me and you had to redefine our relationship after we ended our relationships with those people.
Yeah, we really did. We had to sit and think like, yo, the majority of our friendship was talking about these relationships. So it's like we had to find like, I don't know, we just kind of had to rediscover our whole friendship.
We did. And look at us now. Back and we better.
Oh, hell no. But I think that like what makes falling in love so fun but so scary is like you understand things and you know things about this person that literally no one else does. And like to me, that's so fun. You know, like for me, just sitting and talking with someone about like the things that scares them, or about like their hopes and dreams, or about like their childhood trauma. No, I'm so fucking weird. Because I'm like, tell me about your childhood drama. Date 3.
No. But I feel like that's just the type of person you are, you know? And I feel like that's part of the reason, like, we study journalism in school. We're curious people.
Yeah.
So naturally, it's like, tell me your life. So.
Yes, and I need to stop doing that though. In a way, like I be low key interviewing. It me feel like I'm at an interview because I'm like, yo, let me stop asking all the questions. But I do have a tendency to like not ask important questions and then be disappointed when I found out that this person is completely different from who the fuck I thought they were. So that's tea in itself.
That's because we don't go seeking the bad stuff. We want to know all the good things because that's all we want. That's all we're focused on. I mean, I think that's a natural human action.
Okay. Make me feel a little bit better about being crazy.
Now, you crazy as hell. I'm just saying.
Okay. Chelsea, first of all, no. Second of all, but yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes I'm like, I miss the feeling of being in love, but then I'm like, no, I don't, because that shit is scary. I don't think I willingly sign myself up. Like when people talk about marriage and shit like that, I'm just like, I don't think I willingly would sign myself up to do something like that. Like that's scary as hell to know that somebody's your forever for the rest of your life. Sounds like a scam. Sounds like a scam.
But you're really concerned about having sex with the same person for the rest of your life, or what?
Oh, you're trying to be shady. You're trying to be shady, Brady. Well, let me tell you something, honey. Honey.
Tell me.
No, I'm not going to tell you what I wanted to say because we are being recorded. But just know after this call, bitch is going down, Charlie Brown. Anyway, but I don't know. Like, I like falling in love and being in love. It's like being at the top of the roller coaster. But then you got to remember, like, that shit finna come down. Like, just being realistic. I know that sounds so fucked up. And that sounds so cynical right now.
No, but that's actually the truth. Love, life is like a roller coaster. You're going to have highs, you're going to have lows. And I think that's what people don't understand about love. Like, we go into it thinking that it's going to be a straight shot, tunnel vision. From beginning to end, there's not going to be any turns or any, like, issues. Because, obviously, falling in love is just so beautiful. And, you know, kind of like your first Chick-fil-A fry in Polynesia.
Not your first Chick-fil-A fry. Come on. Come on, Chelsea. No. I hope that you analyze shit deeper than that.
Bitch, shut up, okay? Let me live. But you get what I'm saying, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's perfect. It's beautiful. It tastes good. Whatever. And then at the first sign of a turn or the, trouble, people either run or it becomes toxic.
Yeah.
And you stay in a situation that you don't know how to escape. So.
Yeah. That's what makes it so scary too. Like, I don't know. Just knowing that after a peak will be a valley, and you got to either figure out if you're gonna deal with it or if you're gonna run away. Yeah. I don't know. That's not something I like in my life. I'm just ready to think about. Like, when I meet people that are serial monogamous, I'm like, how are you doing this?
I just met one actually, but yeah, I don't know how they.
You met a man that's a serial monogamous?
Yeah, actually.
Whoa, that's scary.
The last 8 years have been in 2 serious relationships. 4 years each.
4 years?
4 years.
Oh no. Did he say why they ended? Look at me getting you to spill this man tea.
Okay, I'm not gonna spill all his tea, but all I'm gonna say is he told me what he felt like it was and what he thought the women would say it was, and it kind of was one and the same. And he shut down. He was somebody that would emotionally shut down. And I guess that just didn't work. And I'm like, well, why did you shut down? And it was a series of the way the woman handled conflict, actually. And I'm just like, okay, so why do you shut down? And he said that stemmed from his childhood. He didn't really have a dad, so he figured out stuff on his own, and he copes with things by himself. So I feel like that's all he knows. Yeah. So that's his story.
Next week we'll have him on. So I don't know if anybody else watches this, but I watch Marriage Boot Camp. And
I said, oh yeah, I used to.
Yeah, and so they were talking about like how everybody has like their emotional baggage, especially like their childhood traumas and stuff. And like sometimes we don't think about like how the patterns are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, this Mercury retrograde got me fucked up. I can't even communicate. But like our patterns and stuff are not intertwined, I guess. And sometimes they like our inner children like fight with our partner's inner children, and we don't even realize that that's what is causing it. So like, for example, a lot of people had like a fear of abandonment. And then some of them had like, oh, they were raped when they were younger, or like they saw a lot of people who died. like people like got shot and killed and stuff like that in front of them, or like family members that they were close to like went to jail, and like all these different traumas that they like suppressed. So like all of them, when they were dealing with their emotions, they either saw people lash out or they saw people like be very to themselves and not like outwardly show that they care, but like be battling their demons within themselves. Or some people saw like their family members with escapist tendencies, like they would do drugs or like they would, you know, just do wild shit to like cope with their problems, and a lot of them didn't realize like how it was affecting their relationships now. And so like that is something that I'm like, shit, I gotta fix all my like intergenerational trauma before my kids get this shit, or before like I'm ready to actually have like a serious relationship, because we're serious talking about like marriage, because I'm like, I don't want to bring that baggage from when I was 6 years old or when I was whatever age into this new situation as a whole grown person.
Exactly. And I feel like that's the important part that you said, where you have to like fix it with yourself. And I feel like we as women, and well, let me not say women, let me just say people, we jump into relationships not even happy with ourselves. And I'm going to say that I know I did.
Oh, for sure I did.
Yeah, so it's very important that when we are ready to take that step in somebody that we want to spend the rest of our lives with, that we know who we are first. Because, I mean, that's how we end up getting lost. I mean, and growing with someone and, you know, building upon that is natural, but losing yourself should never be a thing in a relationship, which I think happens when we're young and naive and in love, that puppy love.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Sure as hell puppy love, child.
Excuse me? You got something you want to get off your chest, Charles?
No, you said no petty half today, so it's off. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. But I think for me, the thing that I was listening to an episode of Therapy for Black Girls. It's by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. I'm gonna send it to you after this. But basically, she be spilling tea, first of all. But one of the episodes, she was talking about self-sabotage and how like there are people who self-sabotage by not even trying because they like are so afraid of failure. And I think I said this in one of my other episodes too, but I'm the same way. Like when it comes to like dating and meeting guys or whatever, like I completely shut down, or I'm completely closed off, because I'm like that's my version of self-sabotage. I'm like, stupid, I'm not even gonna let you get the chance, because I know.
That's so me too.
Huh?
I said, that's so me too.
Oh, for sure. It's like, I know that the downside of like being in like with someone, or like lusting after someone, or whatever you want to call it in your terms, like it can come with rejection and getting your heart broken. And I'm like, let me tell you something. The next person to break my heart, I'm shooting him. Because
okay, you psychotic.
No, I just can't. But no, it actually does suck. Like getting your heart broken is actually trash. Let me not even try to like dress it up and make it real. Like, no, that just sucks.
Oh, it's painful, and it takes a while for some people. Some people can hop on a new thing in a couple months. Others, it takes a minute.
It depends.
How long it take you?
The caller you were trying to reach is
vulnerable.
You just tried to expose me, Chelsea, and let me tell you something. Here at the Shaking the Table, we shake tables, but bitch, we don't shake the table that I'm currently sitting at. That's not cool. I'll whip your ass.
No, you can't. I'm too far.
That's so true. But anyway, what was I saying before you just tried to expose me?
Okay, fine. I mean, I thought we were being real and open.
We ain't being that damn open.
Okay, fine. Okay, got it. Noted.
Trying to get my ass. Well, I will say not very long. But for you, I want to know, how long did it take you?
Girl, you know it took me a long time, child.
Well, it also probably took you long because you were with the person a lot longer than I was, like by years. You know, you had years on that relationship, so it's different.
Not really. I mean, shorty moved on real quick. Okay. And I'm just being honest, but the thing is, I think we all just deal differently, and I feel like when you're not on the same page and you're not honest with your partner about whatever your situation is, that's where the disconnect can happen. But also, I probably went through a little bit longer because I moved also. I moved to this whole ass state about 16 hours away in West Bubblefuck, Egypt, and only had myself. And I think it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. But while I was going didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
I had this new job and a fresh heartbreak. So that's probably just what happened here. Now I can give a fuck. So.
Right. Yeah. I think the difference too was for me, like I had already. Well, I was living at home at the time, so like I had distractions, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, oh, I'll spend more time with my friends, or I'll spend more time alone, or I'll go to the gym. And I think that for me, what helped me like work through my feelings or whatever was for me to just get in the gym and just go hard. Like,
yeah, snatch that waist, child.
shut up. But like when you I think it's easier when you like are trying to get over heartbreak if you set a personal goal like, all right, so I'm gonna get my skin together. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna start a new project. And I think for me, I just literally like dove head first into like my career and all my personal goals. And I was just knocking them shits out one by one. Cause I'm like, these are all the things I should have been doing, but I was so caught up in like being invested in this situation when I should have just been focusing on myself at the same time. And I always forget that I can multitask. But like, I don't know, it was like a drug. I was like, let me put my shit together. But I think that I had to realize, like, the corny ass saying, like, don't cling to a mistake just because you spend a lot of time making it. I think that that's one thing that I had to learn. Like, that's one lesson for sure that had to that stuck out for me. And I don't want to say that, like, to mean, like, the relationship was a mistake, because it wasn't. It was obviously a choice, but, like, the point is that we weren't a match. And, like, at some point you sort of know that. Like, you start to notice certain things. You be like, that's not going to work. Like, this is still a great person. It's just not my person. It's not the person for me. And that's, right, like, so important to remember. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, this is the one person, like, you know, I worked so hard for this. Like, this is going to work out finally the way we want it. But, like, when you take the blinders off and the rose-colored glasses, as people would say, off, then you finally, like, start to see the situation for what it was. And you're like, okay, it's not healthy.
Right.
But for me, I do wish that, like, I spent more of my college time, like, dating around and, like, meeting different people and exploring options. Because now that I'm, like, I don't even want to say that I'm dating, because literally, like, I'm just living my life. No, I'm just living my life. But like, if someone comes in and I'm like, oh, I'm interested in it, then I'm interested in. But I don't even know how to go about that, because I haven't had many experiences and even having conversations with me. Because before that situation, like, I was curbing niggas. Like, you breathe on me, I'm automatically cursing you out. Like, you're going to jail, period.
I feel like you're still that person. LOL.
In a way, yeah. What'd you say?
Unless he fine.
Shut the hell up. You ain't lying, though. But no, I'm like, I've literally just given up, because people were talking about, like, cuffing season and all that shit. And I'm just like, nah, y'all got this one. Like, I'm on leave. I'm AWOL. This shit don't apply to me. This shit don't apply to me, because I don't like how I feel in rejection. I don't like how I feel in heartbroken. I don't like how I feel in any of those situations. So we gonna self-sabotage.
Nobody likes rejection. I don't care who says like that. Nobody likes rejection, but I do think that I agree in that I wish I was dating. Actually, no. I appreciate my situation for what it was in college, and now I'm living my best life like you, and it's so beautiful. And I feel like everybody should, boys and girls, because I feel like there was a stigma that guys should need to get it all out before they settle down. I mean, shoot, girls need to get it all out too, okay?
Okay, Chelsea. Tell me more.
Dabble, try things. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to whoever you want to, entertain whoever you want to, curve who you want to. Like, It's okay. And it's okay to fall for someone and then that not work out. Because like I was mentioning to you, like, I'll be having conversations with people, and one person, I was enjoying his conversation, but it's really not working out. And guess what? I'm not going to fight, but it's also, it goes back to that point where it's like, I'm not going to even let myself be in the position to get hurt. So it's not like I'm about to fight for you. So if it's not working, it's not working. Because I know I'm not ready for a whole relationship. I'm not sure when I would ever be again. But yeah, I feel like our 20s are for this dating around and trying new things and doing whatever we want. And it's okay. And that doesn't make us a hoe. It makes us human. It makes us 20-something.
Yeah. So. No, I agree with you 1,000%. I think that, like, it's always encouraging to hear your friends be like, no, get back out there and try again. But we just gonna, I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
Oh, we gonna get you back on a horse. Anytime you fall off, I'm gonna be the one to be like, get on that horse.
I don't know why. so many of my friends are like, Lauren, I'm gonna set you up with so and so, and I'm just like, can y'all not? Like, I would literally rather be shot in the face than to fall in fucking love. I'm not even. I would rather be shot in the face than to like fall in love again. This shit is trash, bro. I'm so good. I hate that I'm a cynic now. Ew.
Yeah, and you jaded, but it's okay because like.
Yes, I'm hurting. Yes, I'm jaded.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.
No, the funny thing is though, I don't even be sad. I just be listening to these sad songs. People are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good."
You be concerning me at times, but I just.
What are you concerned about? What is there to be concerned? Like you learn so many. I'm first of all, I'm trolling on here. I want people to know that I'm trolling most of the time. But like, no, getting your heart broken does teach you a lot. Like, yeah, it sucks. You cry, whatever. You get over it. But at the end of the fucking day, like now I've learned what I have the tolerance for and what I don't have the tolerance for. And now the first sign of somebody doing some shit that I don't fuck with, you're done. The first red flags, like, it's over. You know, it's so quick for me to notice the things that I don't want now. And so I appreciate that experience so much more because you learn more about yourself and you learn what you're willing to take. And it's like,
exactly.
Okay.
There's beauty in getting your heart broken. Like, I've told, like, all of my friends as of recently because I feel like people have been going through breakups and they
I've noticed that.
It's crazy. But I'm like, child, it is going to be okay. There's a lesson. There's purpose in pain. It's okay.
Okay, like, purpose in the pain.
It sucks like hell. Shut up. It sucks really bad. I mean, there's going to be many times where you cry, you like maybe want to go back and figure it out, but once you get to the point where you're like, okay, that is over, it's going to hurt, and I'm going to work through that pain, like, that's when you start discovering yourself. And things, like you said, you learn about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, red flags, which honestly are more often than not apparent, you know, when you're in that situation. And it's, like, crazy for me to say that, but I've been thinking and self-reflecting. There were some flags that I could have, like, touched on and maybe avoided that whole situation. But no, it was shiny.
Same
you
here,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So, point of all that little spiel, pain and purpose. It's okay to be hurt, and you definitely will learn a lot about yourself and what you want in an ultimate partner. Because I'm sure there's good and bad that came out of your relationship. You know, it's not all bad. It's not all like,
oh no, of course
want.
not.
So.
Of course not. No, there were moments in there where I literally felt like I was on high, and then there were moments where I'm like, this is not okay, you know? But
for sure,
I think the maturity comes from like looking at the situation like after the fact, being like, okay, you know, this is how I allowed certain things to happen that shouldn't have happened, or this is how I could have grown from that situation, or this is how I could have been better in that situation. It's like, you know, like you have to be open and honest with yourself at that point, like, and be a little bit introspective and reflect on it and be like, okay, well, I played a part in it too. And I think a lot of times when people look back at their relationships, they don't have any accountability in it. It's always the other person. But like, if this keeps happening, you are playing a part in it in some way.
For sure.
Like if every other year you get your heart broken, sis, like we gotta talk and we gotta figure some shit out. Come sit on my couch and we gonna figure it out. But the thing too, I want to stress, because someone also brought this up. I don't want to expose them too much, but like it kind of made me want to get in an argument with them. But I was like, no, sometimes people need to work through their shit on their own. But basically saying that they were going to go back to that person because like they felt like that's all that they had. And I listened to another episode. First of all, Dr. Joy, Therapy for Black Girls, download that shit right now. Because sis said what the fuck she said. She said you are never going to be able to heal from the thing that is broken by the person who broke it.
Ooh.
It has to come from you. Nothing that they can give you can settle that feeling of hurt. And when she said that, Chelsea, I got up. I left my own apartment.
You're so dramatic.
No, I swear I left my own apartment. Took the keys, locked the door, and then came back and sat back down because I was like, yo, there's so many women that need to hear that. Because I feel like everybody has done it at some point. Like there's an in-between phase if you're like, you're still trying to figure out if you want this person in your life. They hurt you. You're not really sure. Or they come back after a while. No, I'm here to tell y'all exactly what Dr. Joy said. You are never going to be able to heal from the thing that is broken by the person who broke it. I just snatched a couple of wigs off. Probably yours, Chels, but...
No, sis, I've been off the whole time. But I feel...
I didn't even glue I'm trying to tell you, I don't even be really gluing my wigs down before I sit on this podcast, because sometimes in the middle of my conversation, I do take my own wig off because I just can't handle the truth.
Yeah, no, I had to just keep it off because I didn't want to be snatching no wigs off.
And then, even with that, though, like, I think that's why a lot of people be like, oh, I just think we have a lot of things to talk about. We have a lot of unfinished business. And I'm just like, no, y'all don't. No, you don't.
I think this goes right into that closure situation. You know what I'm saying? Need or lack thereof for closure.
Let me get your opinion on that. What do you think of closure?
Okay, so if you asked me a year ago, did I need closure? I'd be like, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of that point you just made. Like, closure is for yourself, and you really... I don't think that is absolutely necessary, because once you repair your broken heart and you find yourself and you love yourself again, what are you getting from a conversation that says, hey, well, we broke up because of this. That was really hurt. You really hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay now. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you won't get closure.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I don't think it's necessary. Whereas at one point in time, I did. I'm like, I have to have a conversation. Girl, I was so tragic. I was like, one day we're just going to run into each other and we're going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? No,
girl, if I was there, I would have slapped the shit out of you.
Girl, I mean, seriously, that was like 6 months of my life, like wanting to run into so-and-so at the airport. Like on some like...
I'm the airport. Tag yourself.
But no, like I learned who Chelsea was, and I'm loving Chelsea, and like I'm still learning.
I love Chelsea too.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I don't like emotions.
It's okay. No, I mean,
what's your opinion?
I always tell people that I don't really believe in the whole closure thing. But now I guess I can say it depends on the situation. Because for me, I'm used to getting everything off my chest. So like when I wanted to end my relationship, like I kind of had like, I don't want to say notes, because like that sounds weird, but like talking points, like, okay, this is what I want to be clear on. Like, this is exactly what I want to say. So that way there's no blurred lines. There's no miscommunication. Well, hopefully there's no miscommunication, but like I tried to give him as much of an answer as I could to why I didn't think that we should be in a relationship anymore. And I didn't want it to come, like the tone of it, I didn't want it to come in the form of a rant. Because I think that sometimes when someone's like berating you with all the things that like you're not doing for them, or just the way sometimes people can phrase these conversations, it does make you feel like you're not good enough. And like I didn't want to think of it that way. Like, but I did think that there was some kind of explanation that was owed. And so I guess my answer, that was like a roundabout way of giving my answer, but I guess my answer is like, if you've been with someone for like, say more than 6 months, you kind of do owe them an answer in some way. But I think that there's some cases where like people use like the concept of closure to like prolong the situation in a way.
Yeah.
Like if the person has already given you 15 examples and like rephrased their answer and you're still asking for closure, like me, that's going to frustrate me because I've already said what I said. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you want closure? Like, do you want the one on my head? Like, what the fuck? What am I not being clear about? You keep talking like that would frustrate me. So I was like, let me be like as clear as possible. So that way there's no way that you can ask me for closure. So I try to do that in situations that I'm in. But then there are times where I'm like, I haven't even been having a conversation with this person for that long, or we haven't been dating exclusively or whatever. So like, I don't care that much to give you a speech where I don't fuck with you anymore. But like, if I'm dating you, then I definitely owe you a reason. But
right.
I was just talking about this with my friend Jada, and she was saying like, usually when people keep asking for closure, they're not willing to accept things for what they are. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, that was totally me, for sure. Like, I'm just like, I deserve an answer, which I technically still do, but it's just like I just don't care anymore to have it because I've moved past the fact that like that's dead in the ground, not to be revived ever again. Mm-hmm. But at first, I wasn't there. I like needed answers and I wanted it to still work and like whatever. And I feel like, yeah, I deserve that. But that comes with rediscovery of yourself. Like you start to fill a void and you start to realize you don't need it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think that the whole concept of closure is like it's really not needed. Like if everyone's just clear, like okay, this is not working, get everything off your chest. There's no need for an additional conversation. Is what is my point. Like once you've had that, like okay, we're doing this, whatever. Bye, you know. But I can understand like if you're the person that's getting broken up with, you may want want answers because I know that there's a feeling of like, oh, you know, maybe I wasn't good enough, or like, you know, why did you do this to me, or you know, just like those kind of questions, which are okay. But like you said, at some point you have to stop searching for the answers from them and start searching for the answers within yourself. Like, okay, how can I take this experience and like transform and be a better person? Or like, how do I make sure these things don't happen in my next relationship? Or like, how do I not carry this baggage over? I think that that's sort of what my focus is now, instead of me being like,
hard.
yo, girl, hello. It's hard. It's difficult because me, like, knowing that I invested so much in a situation, I didn't really get much out of it at the time because obviously we're not together. That sucks. But then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I'm going to move on. I wish the best for this person. I pray for them. And then you just got to move forward. Like you can't keep clinging on to it. And I think a lot of people, they do still have that hurt within them. And I'm like, I don't understand how. I hope you like talk to someone about that. I hope you work through those feelings. There's some podcasts that you can listen to. I do have recommendations, like Therapy for Black Girls is one. Small Doses with Amanda Seals is another one because sis be gathering me. But
you better plug.
Okay, you know, you gotta listen to podcasts from other women who've gone through what you've gone through, especially Black women too. If you are a Black woman, listen to this. I'm sure there's some for Black men. They're probably a little toxic because you know a toxic masculinity in there. But I think that you really like if you are dealing with heartbreak, getting your heart broken or anything like that, or if you're still like a little bit stuck on an ex or a guy you talk to, because I know there's like a blurry line between who's your ex, who's not an ex. It's 2019, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you got to figure out that healing process for yourself. You can't rely on nobody else. Like, I know they say like the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody, but please save everybody the drama. Please.
Yeah, and that's honestly not true because, you know, I thought that, and I'm not trying to make it all about myself, but
no,
I thought that, like, you know, me just trying to jump into other things, like, girl, I tried to, okay, we're not even going to go there, but I thought that, like, getting with someone else would help and, like, make me feel better and, like, oh, I'll move on and I'll look like I'm doing well, too. Because for me, like, it looked like he was living his best life. Like, he got the best deal. Like, he got to leave town first. He had a shorty. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, daddy. Meanwhile, I'm over here, like, what the fuck? Like, you know, and my situation was not as pretty. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I am in a small town, and I'm doing this hard-ass job with these crazy people. Okay? Different story. But, I thought getting with someone or having someone here would help. And it was so hard when that wasn't working out. Nothing was working out, not any guy. And that was strictly because I had to deal with myself. So getting up under someone is only going to create more problems. It
is for sure, because you'll still, number one, you'll still have feelings for the person that you're trying to get over. And then number two, you have this new person whose head that you're fucking with. Mm-hmm. Or they could be bringing you baggage that comes with them too, and it's like you are just making your situation worse. And so I kind of hate when people say that phrase of like the best way to get over somebody is to get under someone else's, because it's like it doesn't benefit anyone. And I think that you're just prolonging your healing and you're just going to make it worse.
Exactly. But some people don't know how to be alone.
Yeah, and I think that's something I've never understood. Maybe it's because like I know it's hard to believe, but I'm hella introverted. Like I love being by myself. Being with someone else is nice. Like I said in the beginning of the conversation, having that partner in crime is nice. But I do thrive the most when I'm alone, because that's when my creativity comes out. And that's when, like, you know, I really, like, recharge and I'm able to deal with the world after I have been by myself. So I don't understand how people, like, feel that loneliness and that longing to the point where they have to put themselves in fucked up situations.
That also comes from, you know, possibly people's childhood, people's experiences.
That's true.
You know, just not know how to be like. Somebody really close to me is like constantly in need of being in a relationship or having a person, and sometimes prolongs their own healing because they have to have someone. Yeah. So, but it's a process, and as we grow, sometimes it just takes longer than others. And once we get to that point, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful knowing yourself. And
I love my journey.
Yet. Huh?
I love my journey, like this journey that I'm on of like being open and like thinking out my feelings and sorting out like the traumas and stuff that I've had in the past and like how I'm dealing with it. Like I love that journey. It's so beautiful. It's scary. It's scary for sure, especially because all of this is out in the public now. Like literally, my thoughts and feelings and my heart is on Spotify and Apple Music every Sunday. But that's okay because like I hope that I'm like helping somebody. Like I hope an episode like this where two women who like experience heartbreak around the same time, just in different forms, are able to come and talk about it and maybe help somebody else. That's the goal.
Yeah. And it's definitely not, I'm not trying to be bitter. Like, I really do hope it helps God hurt someone.
I know. I'm like, Chelsea, relax.
I know. I'm getting too excited. I'm sorry. But yeah, because I feel like I said, women, we hold on. And we hold on so long. Something can be so toxic and so bad. And you could be so freaking unhappy. Mm-hmm. But yet you're going to stay because it's comfortable because you think you're not going to get better. That's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie. There is something better. It really is. There always is. And your perfect guy, he's out there. Like, you do not have to put up with
I know. My future man looking at my pictures like, damn. This a lobster with some butter. This a red lobster biscuit. My future man is calling me. I don't even know what the hell. I can't even think of something so succulent that he's referring to me as. Okay, I'm his banana pudding. I'm his first drop of water in 90-degree weather.
Okay. Moving on now.
That's what my future husband is looking at my IG right now saying. I know he is. I felt it in the universe. I manifested it.
He's gonna listen to this and be like, damn.
I know.
That's all me. I'm just kidding.
Shut the hell up. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, I'm gonna be 30 fine. I'm gonna have a new set of teeth. I'm gonna be on my second nose.
Okay. Cut this shit off real quick.
I'm gonna be on a yacht with my man, and I'm gonna be like, glistening off the chocolate.
My question is, will you continue to be this crazy your whole entire life? Okay.
Shit, I don't know, man. Somebody got to provide a little excitement, okay? While you over here talking shit about my person, my first of all, I hope my future man not even listen to this shit because
oh, he gonna be all over this. He listening to this.
Because I feel bad for you. I hope I don't know him yet. I hope I don't know him because that's sad. Because the shit that I be saying on this podcast, girl. Girl. We gonna pray for him. Shit. Burn some incense. Light a candle in a new moon ritual. But anyway, any final thoughts, Chelsea?
I just love myself. I'm so excited to no, I'm just kidding. Final thoughts. Just remember, I'm just gonna keep saying it. There's purpose in your pain, and heartbreak is beautiful, and it sucks while you're going through it, but you will come out on the other side, and you'll fall in love with someone new, and that's yourself. And then beyond there, you popping. You fucking popping.
And I'm just gonna reiterate what the fuck I said, which was, well, I had to write it down. You're never gonna be able to heal from the thing that's broken by the person who broke it. It has to come from you, girl. So just know, don't cling on to that mistake. That man that's not serving you.
Word.
Just, girl, listen. Or if he tells you that you're not serving him, it's okay, sis. Pack your wigs up and get the fuck on. Because guess what? You may not be enough woman for this man, but one day you're going to find somebody that calls you his red lobster biscuit.
Goodbye.
There has to have been lead in the water in Baltimore City. Like, I want someone to launch an investigation because
something is wrong with you.
My fucking brain is fried. Thank you all for listening. I hope y'all have a great week. Love you guys. Bye.